All right, today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects in the whole entire world of content marketing, personal branding. Personal branding. Come on. If you're not pumped up like I am, I wish I had like a little button here where I go, I don't have that just yet. But if I did, I would be pressing it right now because here on Creator Factor, a podcast for business-minded content creators who are looking to level up their creator factor. If you're a content creator, a podcaster, YouTuber, you're creating content, you're building a brand, okay? This is a show for you. I'm your host who loves you the most, Ozeal. And if you're catching this on YouTube, thank you so much for checking it out. Make sure you subscribe on the YouTube channel by following Ozeal, Ozeal. Rhymes with zeal, rhymes with the real deal, Ozeal. Champion like Evander Holyfield. No, okay. All right. Let me stop. Every now and then I'll put some words together, but we're not doing that today. All right. We're going to be talking about personal branding because this is something that I've been really heavy into branding for a long time. And just to kind of give you some context, back in my early days, I used to be a musician. I was really just enamored by branding and how can you make your product, your service, in my case, how can you make your band a real brand? See what I did there? And get it out there, right? How can you make it stand out amongst the competition? And one of the things that I've noticed from the bands that really stood out from the ones that didn't is it was branding. That was one of the many things, aside from just making sure you produce great music that people want to dig into. But it was really branding. Is really, how can you brand yourself in a market that's competitive, in a market where everybody's vying for attention? What can you do to grab attention? And this always has been the name of the game, not only in just big brand companies, but in every industry. Branding is key to having success. And I feel like now it doesn't change. The game is still about branding. Okay. So I wanted to talk about this because I know a lot of you, you could be showing up on TikTok or on Instagram or on YouTube and you're looking to stay visible, right? To be visible. But I want to let you know that it's not about posting more content. It's about a lot more than that. And I do believe that the brands that understand the importance of personalizing branding are the ones that are going to win. So hopefully I'm going to just share. I'm going to go off. I took a couple notes here. So if you're watching this, I may look away to watch, to look at some notes. So excuse me. I need some water. Speaking of that, I need some water. Where's my water at? Way out there. Okay. So personal branding. Let me talk about this. Okay. Because I believe that this is going to be some key creator factors, plural, that are really going to help you stand out, okay? Showing up daily, posting content daily doesn't mean that you're going to stand out. Now, I know you'll hear a lot of people spreading the gospel of post daily content, be everywhere. Yes, absolutely. Those are tactics, and it's important to stay relevant. Keep top of mind, right? You may be creating noise, being top of mind, but that doesn't mean that you're being recognized as the top personal brand or the top brand at that for that thing. And to me, that's where I really like to dial in the importance of personal branding, an identity, not just visibility. Let me repeat that. We want an identity, not just visibility. And you're not building a brand unless people can. So it's other people's perception of the association they have when it comes to you. I'm pretty certain that when I talk to my peers and people here locally and even around my circle online, I've actually asked that question. What do you think of me? Like, that's a question for you. Like, you can comment in the section down below. And most people say, I associate Ozeal as a podcasting coach, or the other thing that I've been getting labeled as is the community builder. Like, I see you as a community builder. Like, you can teach creators how to build communities. And I do believe that's a superpower. I was like, okay, maybe, but it wasn't until other people started telling me that my brand was associated with community building, that my brand was associated with podcasting. So it's something for you to think about. When people think of you, what are they thinking about? What one or two words do they associate those words with what you do as a personal brand? What a personal brand actually is, let me tell you what it's not. It's definitely not a logo. It's not an aesthetic. It's not a color hex. It's not a website. It's not even your presence on social media. Social media is the amplification of your personal brand. But personal brand it's a vibe. It's a feeling. It's the value people, again, associate you with. And this is built on clarity, asking yourself what you do, who you serve. Consistency is important, right? It's not about frequency, but it's alignment. That's the key. It's not really always about consistent daily posting, but it's really about alignment. Consistency is something you do, but when you're aligned, now you're devoted to a very, very clear vision and a representation of what your personal brand is. And then the other C, there's 3 C's: clarity, consistency, and lastly, but not leastly, is emotional and resonance connection. Like it's about connecting with your story. That's the connection you're going to make with you and your viewer or somebody following you on social media. What is that thing that they're going to connect with? And this is when, like, the art of storytelling. I feel like a lot of podcasters, including myself, this is probably the biggest challenge. Is like, what is my brand story? What is the thing that if I go out on the street, meet people at a conference, local events, what is the story that they know me as? Some of you may or may not know, and I'm probably do a poor job of doing this. Some of you may know that my background as a creative was a former break dancer. I was always involved in dance and performance, and I was I was a musician. I was a front man, the MC for a hip hop funk jazz band. Before that, I was in an alternative rock band for many years, for like over a decade. And that's where I really learned a lot about branding and marketing and music and being a creative in performance. So some of you may or may not know that, maybe not. But if you don't, now you know. And that's really where I kind of learned a lot about what it's like to be a creative and building a business around creativity, right? I don't share it as much, but I want to challenge you to share, to really lean into that. If there's one thing, aside from, being clear and clarity, that's kind of foundational branding, being consistent, but being aligned with your consistency. But if I really had to like pick one, they're all important, but really understanding your story. I think there's a lot of things that you can tie into your story to help us understand your why and help us understand what you're really about. So that's something I would definitely want to make sure that I challenge you with. So curious to get your thoughts on that. Now let's talk about this mini framework that I use. And I'm going to use the 3 E's. And number 1 is asking yourself as a personal brand. And write this question down. What do I want to be known for? Answer that question. Number 3 is energy. What vibe do people want from me? Like, what's the vibe that I want to put out to the world? Is it humorous? Is it more of a deep thinker, intellectual? Is it high energy? Is it entertaining? What is the energy? Is it being curious? Just really dig into that. Because even if you listen to a lot of podcasters will bring something different to the mic. People have different styles of interviewing. People have different styles of showing up online. And I think that's it gets overlooked, right? But I really like the idea of like really thinking about what's the feeling, what's the energy that you want to bring into the microphone and what you do. And then this kind of trickles down to the last D, which is emotion. What pain or hope do you want to speak to? Is it inspirational? Is it motivational? Is it spiritual? What type of emotion you want to evoke? And I believe that when a personal brand really understands their expertise and how they want to position themselves and the energy they want to convey, and then also the emotion they want to tap into, that's how you create a personal brand. So that's, my mini framework when it comes to 3 core brand building pillars. And then let me talk about, we talked about consistency matters, but what's important is intentional consistency. And I always tell people, when you post content, don't post content just to check the box and say, hey, I posted something. This is it. I want to challenge you to think about asking yourself, how does this post reinforce my brand identity? Is this aligned with what I'm trying to share? The other question is, does this attract the people that I want to work with? One of the mistakes that I made early on as a podcast coach is I would post a lot of content, and without getting into the details, I was posting a lot of content that was attracting the wrong clients. And I was like, why is this happening to me? And then I started realizing that a lot had to do with the fact that I was posting content that was not targeted to the people that I actually wanted to work with. Plain and simple. That's what ended up happening. So it's important for you to really think about the type of content you want to post to attract the right people. And then lastly, when you post content, and this is something that I see a lot of content creators do is they'll post content, but it's just like aimless. It's just meaningless content. And I think it's just kind of like you want to feed the monster. I get it. I've been there before. I also have to ask myself, is this content going to bring value to the people that I want to reach out to? That one person. Is it? You know, are you just trying to fill space, or are you really trying to bring something to the table? And I think that's a question that I want to challenge a lot of content creators. I want to challenge you to start thinking about posting for the sake of just bringing value rather than just making noise. And then another thing that I want to share with you before, and I feel like I'm giving you a lot, but I'm just kind of giving you, I feel like this is kind of like a personal branding masterclass that I'm dropping here. It maybe this is something, if you are interested in more of this, feel free to hit me up on social at The Real Ozeal or comment down below. But let me know, like, if this is something that you would want me to go deeper into. I would love to do it, because this is, I'm telling you, this is my jam. Even more, I'm kind of what's the word? I'm kind of getting reacclimated, but I'm reconnecting with my passion for branding and really understanding this a lot more, because I'm seeing it in the podcasting space even more, and even on YouTube as content creators are evolving and we're becoming influencers. It's personal branding is the X factor. All right, so let me share with you what I am doing to build my brand up right now. I have been deep into, and these are things that I want you to consider, is revisiting your purpose, revisiting your why, like realigning the content with your business goals. I know a lot of you may be coaches and consultants, you may be service providers, but it's important to make sure that when you're posting content, is this aligned with your business goals? Now, I'm going to say this, you may or may not disagree, anybody out there in the online space, but I don't think you should just post all the time just to make a sell or to make it all like aligned with funneling you through this whole thing, and I'm gonna teach you, and I'm gonna pitch you something. I think there's room for that for sure. I mean, there's definitely customer funnels, or I like to call it customer journeys, that you like to bring in people into. But I do believe in the importance of, or the more of along the lines of bring value. Bring value first, and I'll share with you what I offer. And if it's aligned, then great. But I think posting content that's aligned with potentially who you want to work with, I think is super important, and keep it in mind. And then getting really into shifting from quantity to quality and clarity. Instead of feeding the monster, I would rather you post 1 or 2, 3 times, a week with just really intentional, thoughtful, valuable content versus posting content for the sake of content. And there's a content strategy, and I would love to do a video one time or a podcast episode on this topic, because I think there's an opportunity for you to still stay consistent with your podcast, or with your content rather, but not get so caught up in just talking about the one thing. I think you can mix it up a little bit. And again, I'll talk about that some other time. And then the other thing you can do to rebuild your brand right now is take what you know and, create a free guide. Create something that will define, your brand and your strategy, your brand strategy. For example, I actually, as you may or may not know, I'm in podcast marketing, and I created a podcast marketing free PDF guide, which, by the way, I'll make sure that I link it up in the show notes, and you can check it out. And it was just something that I spent some time, invested some time and energy into. Was like, okay, if I want to help a podcaster specifically on how to help them level up their podcasting game, what are some things that I can do to help them, market their podcast effectively? And that's what I did. Took a few days, doubled down on some of the things that I've learned in the past, some of the things that I've worked with my clients, and then I made a PDF, and hoping that you have clarity of what I do as a personal brand, and put it out there. Value. That's it. Value. So again, you don't need to do a full rebrand. I just feel like you just need to get back to the messaging, the clear messaging, the thing that you represent, the thing that you want to put out to the world. So don't overthink it. Just remember, think that personal brand is you being more personal with the brand you're trying to build. Be more mindful, and just play the smarter game, instead of just posting content and trying to just put it out there and make more noise, right? Now, your personal brand is not about going viral. Your personal brand is a slow burn. It's the slow process. It's being patient, persistent, being purposeful. It's built by being clear. It's about being consistent and connected week after week. And there's going to be days where you may not feel like posting, but your audience will always know where you stand. And I think planting that flag and claiming that is the most important thing that you can do for your creator brand. I want to invite you to download my free guide. It's a podcast marketing strategy PDF. It's going to be linked up again in the show notes, and that's my free gift to you. And again, if it resonates with you, I would love to get your feedback. Let me know what you think, especially if you're a podcaster or if you're a creator looking to get into podcasting. It's a great PDF. a lot of valuable content, be getting a lot of positive feedback. So check it out. Let me know what you think. And feel free to drop me a DM. And if you're interested in ever starting a podcast, I would be more than happy to help you. And we can definitely jump on a discovery call if that's something that you're looking for. All right. So that's it. Thank you again for checking out the podcast Creator Factor. Make sure you follow the show, okay, on Apple, on Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast. And of course, on YouTube as well. We're trying to grow and build a community here, y'all. So again, every week I'm trying to post something valuable and just share some thoughts and bring some good energy into your life. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay. Gotta go. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll catch you next time. Peace and one love, y'all.